My name is Leah Huggins. I'm a wife, a mother, and a proud U.S. Navy veteran. After 2 tours to Iraq, my husband was diagnosed with PTSD. My world spiraled out of control as fear, anxiety, doubt, and depression took over. I gave my life to Christ, took on a new mindset, and let go of the negativity of my past. I now help wives to find healing, encouragement, and strategy to overcome the effects of PTSD on their daily lives and in their marriage. So come on in and let's talk about it. Welcome to Marriage, Motherhood, and PTSD. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Marriage, Motherhood, and PTSD. This is the place where I empower and encourage women to take back their life as I give them the tools that they need for self-love, growth, and resilience. I'm your host, Coach Leah, and I'm so glad you joined us today. Well, y'all, we have a good show for you today. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about women and money and taking control of our financial future. It's so important as women, as wives, as mothers, that we know how to navigate through the world of finance. Why? Because money is security. Can I get an amen? Now, we know that money will not solve all your problems, but it does make it a little bit easier to deal with it, right? All right, money is a tool, and we need to know how to manage it. Now, having said that, I have a special guest in the building today. She is a personal finance manager with over 19 years experience. She's worked with military members and their families, coaching them in financial management and literacy. Through education and motivation, she guides individuals to achieve financial freedom. And y'all, she's smart. She holds a bachelor's degree in marketing and Espanol, okay, in Spanish. And she has a master's in business administration. And if that's not enough, she also holds an accredited financial counselor certification. Y'all help me welcome to the show, Miss Saudi Rodgers. Yay! Saudi, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate this.
Yes. I really appreciate you for coming in, hanging out with us and sharing all of your wisdom with us today. I can't wait to get started. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? How did you get into the field of finance?
Well, it's so funny that you asked that. First of all, I come from a small town on the Gulf Coast in Mississippi. So I am from Moss Point, Mississippi, born and raised. Yep. Born and raised. And so, I never knew exactly what I wanted to be. But one of the things that I always remembered growing up is I envisioned myself being this boss type woman, leading the way, business and things like that. So I always envisioned myself being in front of an audience, being in front of a board, just being that type of boss. So the funny part about all of that is when I went to Mississippi State, go Bulldogs.
Hey, Hail State.
That's right. My dad was like, you need to be a pediatrician.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, that's not quite what I envisioned. But, he was like, listen, pediatrician is the way to go. And that was great. The problem was I wasn't good at science or all that chemistry and things like that.
Yeah.
So finally, after like one semester, I stepped back and I was like, that's really not what you want to be. And so I diverted myself and went over to the business school. And that's how everything started to pan out. I loved it. I enjoyed business. And so when it comes to that in finance, love it. Love talking about personal finance.
Well, you are in the right place today, and we are so blessed to have you here because we need to talk. Now, I have to tell you guys, I met Saudi years ago. Okay, let me start it with what had happened was there was a couple times, when my husband and I first got married and we started our family and we got into a financial bind. We got behind on our bills. We were doing payday loans. We weren't saving money, credit cards maxed out, all of that. And we ended up having to go to the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. And that was on our base. And basically, they're there to assist service members, during hardships. And one of the things that they offered was money to catch you up and help you pay your bills, buy groceries, things like that, any kind of assistance. But you had to qualify for it. And there was a couple times that my family did qualify for it. So
Mhm.
when they give you money, they don't just give you the money. Most times you have to pay it back. And sometimes they give you a grant depending on the severity of the situation, but they give you this money, but they make you go see a financial counselor to get yourself back on a budget, and they help you with managing your money. And so Saudi was actually our counselor a couple times. So, and I know she was probably sick of seeing us coming in there, because every time she looked up, we were probably coming back, coming back in there. But Saudi, you helped us tremendously. You got us back on track a couple times. And as a matter of fact, I remember when we bought our first house, I remember I came back and told you, and I think you were more excited than we were. You were so happy for us.
Yes.
So I really just wanted to take a moment and give props where props are due, and just say thank you and let you know how much I appreciate what you've done for me and my family.
Listen, it's no problem at all. Thank you for even telling me that, because sometimes in this field we try to guide people. We don't really do a lot as far as telling them exactly what to do, but
Right.
we guide them along the way to say, "Hey, you can do this.
Yeah.
You can make it happen." And just hearing that, I love to hear those stories where it's been rewarding. So yes, I was just excited. I was more excited than you guys, because it's like,
We win. It's a win. Our win is your win.
that's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Well, let's go ahead on and dive in. Women and money. Okay, that,
Yes.
that made me think of sidetrack. That made me think of what's the clumps where he said, "Women be shopping." So women and money. So I did some digging, and I found out that financial issues are one of the biggest contributors to problems in relationships that lead to divorce. The divorce rate, due to financial problems, it can be between 22 and 41%, depending on what type of financial issue that it is. A lot of times, especially in the military, because it's male dominated, women are left vulnerable, or they have to stay in a relationship that they don't want to be in because they're not the breadwinner. They don't control the money. And sometimes they don't even have access to the money.
Mhm.
So I've been in this situation, where I've had stuff taken from me, like keys to a house or to a car, or some other material thing. And, just because the person got mad at me. And I vowed that I will never be in that
Mm.
situation again. Okay. I never wanted to put myself in a place where someone had that much control over me. And, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I can take my keys to my car and drive to my own place and live by myself and be happy. The job that I had in the military, it was a male dominated field. And so I heard a lot of stories, and I saw how a lot of them treated their wives. Now, it wasn't all of them, but it's enough for me to notice the
Right.
pattern. It was definitely a
Right.
pattern there. Um, so I just knew I never wanted to be in that place. So my goal has always been financial independence.
Yes.
Yeah. But how many of y'all know financial independence requires what? Financial responsibility. Especially if you're a wife or you're a mom, because you're carrying your family.
Mhm.
It's important. You have to know, and you have to be a part of the business end of your family, because if for whatever reason your spouse leaves, or if they get sick, or if they get injured, or heaven forbid, if they were to pass away, you have to know how to pick up where they left off and keep it moving. So Saudi, I wanted to bring you in today to help us get our financial life together, get our priorities in order, or at least get us pointed in the right direction to get started. So let me ask you, what do you think is the number one mistake that women makes when it comes to money?
Oh, that is a great question. The number one mistake I would say that women make when it comes to money
Mhm.
is being afraid of the knowledge.
Oh,
Being afraid of the knowledge.
yeah,
Listen, money isn't that hard.
yeah,
Money is not that hard. I always tell people, if you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you got it right then and there.
You got it.
And you don't even have to, in today's world, you don't have to do it in your head.
That's
okay?
right.
You got it on your phone. You have the calculator right there for you on the phone.
Right.
So if you can do those things, you can control and you can see. But being afraid of the knowledge of money, because we overthink.
Yeah.
Women tend to overthink and they take that relaxed phase when it comes to money. And so we'll say, hey, I'll sit up there and let somebody else do it as long as I don't have to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We got to get the knowledge. We got to get the knowledge, and we can't be scared of it. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, so having said that, do you think that men and women have different attitudes when it comes to money?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I've learned, and there are studies out there to show, for instance, when we jump to the big pool of investing, when it comes to investing, a lot of women tend to make the better investors. Women tend to make better investors over men. The reasoning is because we do a lot of things calculated. So that fear that I said that can be an issue, can also be something that empowers and actually helps you to make those right choices. So as long as you have caution, not fear, but caution, and you educate yourself about what you're about to get into before you just make a blind leap. That's what a lot of women tend to do as investors. That we will research that thing up and down. We will research it up and down. Whereas oftentimes when it comes down to men, one of the things they would do is they would just take that leap. And they would go out there and say, such and such told me that I should be buying this. And such and such told me I should be buying that.
Or I saw it on TikTok.
I saw it on TikTok. Okay. Or there was some man on TV screaming about this and I should buy that. And women would actually sit down and investigate, research it, and then make calculated decisions on it. Now, the thing is, being cautious is one thing, but then proceeding on. So when you have that mentality of, hey, I'm going to research this and then I'm going to put action behind it, there's,
no stopping us now.
There's no stopping us. Go for it. You see that, know the pros, you know the cons. And you know the risks. So then you take action on it. There's nothing wrong with that. So I always tell people, women oftentimes make better investors. Men, they will throw whatever at the wall and whatever sticks.
That's what works. I love that. I definitely want to get into investing because I'm one of those people, because I don't know much about it, it scares me. So I'm trying to get the knowledge today. So we'll get into that later.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask, what are some of the patterns that you've noticed as far as financial patterns that you've noticed while working with military families?
Not being disciplined. Lack of discipline. Because we see other people doing, so we feel like we should be doing just as good.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses will have you broke. Okay? Keeping up with the Joneses. And that I cannot tell you how many times I've seen that where someone has been trying to keep up with the Joneses. And let me tell you something. Finances is the most taboo topic anybody talks about.
Wow.
Okay. As you said, it's the number one causes of arguments and relationships and marriages to fail. It's the most untalked about thing. How often do you sit around with your group of friends and start talking about what your bank account is looking like? Or what your credit score is looking like? Or what your investments are really looking like? These are topics that we're not talking about. Not only are we not talking about it amongst ourselves, we're not talking about it to our children. And so we continue to pass that pattern on.
But you're right, though, because we don't talk a lot about them. I think it kind of goes back to what you were saying about keeping up with the Joneses and wanting to, not necessarily some people do want to impress other people. And then also some people don't want to talk about
about finances because they don't want anybody asking them for nothing, you know? And yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with perception because we live in a world, I call it I saw somebody refer to it as your Pinterest life, where everything, everything that you see, it looks perfect, but behind the camera, behind the scenes, it's a mess and it's not real. You know, so I think that's the kind of world we live in where it's about what you look like and not
Yes.
what you have.
Absolutely.
What you do with what you have. That was good.
Keeping up with the Joneses and staying self-disciplined.
Yeah.
Having that discipline for delayed gratification.
Yes.
If it's something that you don't have to get right now, then you can delay that.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people, everybody right now is the term of being outside.
Yeah.
Everybody is outside going on vacations all of this. After COVID, we all wanted to get out the house.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for instance, if you want to go on that big vacation, I always tell people there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
As long as you can afford it.
That
means you have the cash that you saved up for this vacation. Not just the actual expense of the vacation, but all the little expenses that goes along with that.
Right.
You should have all of that saved up, okay?
Yeah.
And then when you come home, bills are still due. So do you still have that life?
That's true.
Okay.
That's the truth. We are, so I don't have like this habit with shoes and bags and all that stuff. That's not my habit. My habit is vacation. So I love a cruise. I love Disney World, and we'll go a couple times, a couple times a year. And what we do, people always say, man, y'all must be rich. No, we're not rich. What we do is we plan in advance and we pay a little bit at a time. We estimate how much we're going to spend for, like you say, the little things, for your food. How much is it going to cost for parking every day? Things like that. We figure that out, and then we plan in advance.
Absolutely.
And pay, and that way it's doable. And when we get there, we're not stressing. And when we get home, we're not stressing either, trying to figure out how we're going to pay the light bills now that we done been to Disney World.
That's it. That is it.
Yes. So I want to ask, is there a certain percentage of household income that we should be living off of?
Yes. So financial experts, we all say that usually 70% of your net income, not your gross, but your net income, that means after taxes, after insurance, things have been taken out of your paycheck, what you see, 70% of that income is generally what we should be living off of, 70% or less.
70%, okay.
The next amount is you want to do no more than 20% going towards debt.
Ah, gotcha. So that was one of my questions.
No more than 20% going towards debt. Now, in this process, we're not necessarily including a mortgage payment in the debt. We'll put that with the expenses, your living expenses. Okay. So that's going to be your utilities, your groceries, your shopping, the kids' activities, your subscriptions. All of those things. Those are your expenses. Your debts are going to be, and we're going to include, again, the household with that, especially for military personnel. Military families, that's what we're putting at. And then 20% going towards your debt. Now, if you can do less and less for both of these, because right now we're at 90%.
Yeah.
10% is what we should say that you should start off at least 10% going towards a savings and investment.
Wow.
Something that you're investing in yourself, whether it's a savings account, a high yield savings account, a CDs, whether it's your money market accounts, whether it's now your 401ks, your TSPs, your other investments. Now, when we start moving up that chart, we're looking at your investments and things of that nature. So I always tell people 70% ideal, but can do that. Does that mean that you have to make it to 70? No.
Yeah.
If you're living off 60% of your income, you're doing great.
Doing good.
You're doing great.
So yes, so 70% is your what you should be living, your maximum of what you should be living off of. 20% is going to go towards your not towards your debt, but 20% is how much debt you should have.
of your income. Is that right? Okay. And then the last 10% should be your savings and investments.
Absolutely.
I love that. 70-20-10. I love
There we go. There we go.
So my attitude about money, it's always been that I will always have more money coming in. It's always, I got 2 weeks between now and the next check.
Yeah.
Gonna be some more coming in. And I've had that. I keep that mentality, I guess, growing up, because I always had that safety net of my parents, So, when my husband and I got together, his background was a little bit different than mine. So we looked at money different. So I've always been a spender, which was why we used to come see you a lot. I've always been a spender, and, I was fine living paycheck to paycheck. And that worked well for me until I didn't have that safety net anymore. Then I realized how unhealthy that actually was.
Yes.
So what are some of the strategies that we can use to stop living paycheck to paycheck?
Well, there's a couple of different strategies. The first thing is always tell people we have to change our mindset.
Yeah.
Because first of all, finances is a learned process. You can learn the right way to do it, or you can learn the wrong way to do it. Oftentimes, it goes back to when I say that people don't talk to the kids. Our parents really didn't train us. We just watched and did whatever we saw, whether it's from our parents or somebody else in the community. Maybe it was a cousin or somebody that you thought had it going on. Right. So you went and tried to keep up with what they were doing. But the thing is, learning, understanding, changing our mindset about money. As you stated earlier in the first part of this, money is a tool.
A tool, yeah.
Money is a tool, and it can get you so far to where you want to go if you use that tool correctly. If you're using a tool wrong, you ain't gonna get nothing done.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna use that tool and dig yourself deeper into
a hole. Exactly.
Yes.
So first of all, understanding that money is a tool, knowing the knowledge of money, changing your actual ideal of how you view money, and not that it's just something to just freely spend, but it's actually something that you're using as a part of your life.
Yep.
And to just take care of you. The next thing is once you start and realizing like, hey, do I really need this? It's your psychology about money.
Yeah.
I had a young lady to come to me 2 weeks ago and she said, I got rid of my G-Wagon. I went down to my Honda Civic. She said, I kept my Honda Civic. It's a 2019.
Yeah.
She said, it's just me. I barely drive and the G-Wagon costs a lot. And I was like, girl, okay. And she said, and this lady is a doctor. She's a dentist.
Yeah.
And she said, got rid of that because I realized it's costing me. I don't have money in my savings like I should. I haven't been putting money into a IRA or 401k like I should. So what am I really doing here?
Yeah.
And so it was changing her psychology. The second thing that we could do is start paying yourself first.
Pay yourself first. Yes. I love that.
Paying yourself first. Oftentimes we will go and we will pay all these bills. We will buy groceries. We will do everything. And then we'll leave ourselves at the end of this whole budget that we do and say, okay, now I have this. So your budget is really controlling you.
Yep.
You need money for an emergency. You need money for retirement later on in life. Because I guarantee you're going to retire. Hopefully, if Lord's willing, you'll get to a retirement age.
That's
you're going to need money for that. And then you're going to need money for your goals, the things that you want to purchase, those vacations. If it's that nice bag, if it's a pair of shoes, whatever it is, you want to enjoy your money that way. But the thing is, clean up your house first. Clean up your financial house. Change that psychology of how you view money, and then start investing in you. I take time and I pay myself every single pay cycle. I pay myself. I pay into my TSP. Which is my retirement account.
Yeah.
Because I want to retire to something. Not just retire from something.
There you go.
And then
that's good. That's good.
And then I make sure that I'm paying for my savings. Okay. Just my emergencies, because anything can happen. My family all lives in Mississippi. I'm in Houston now.
Yeah.
So if I need to catch a flight at the drop of a dime, I need to always have money aside for that last minute ticket or anything that's necessary, or get on the road or whatever it may be. So you want to make sure that you have money set aside for you. And
Yeah.
then you'll be okay. And then I'm like you. I love to go on a vacation.
Come
Now,
on
you know,
now.
I jump on a plane and go in a minute.
Yes.
And when I go on a vacation, money is not an issue.
Yeah.
Whatever I want, I got it. I have plenty of money that's sitting aside.
Yeah. It's because you've prepared for it. You've prepared for it.
Absolutely.
What I hear you saying is that your money has purpose. You have a purpose for your money. So therefore making it a tool.
Making
I
it a
love
tool.
that. I love
Every
that.
single dollar, I tell every dollar that I earn what to do.
Come on now.
I
Yes.
tell every dollar, you will be mine. I'm
That's
keeping
it.
you.
Yes.
Okay. You go over there and pay those folks.
Okay.
Okay.
I
You-
love that.
I'll see you later on in life because we going soccer. That's my retirement account.
Yeah.
But I'm telling every bit of my money I'm telling it what to do. Not my money telling me what to do.
Yep.
It's saying you gonna eat ramen noodles or
Okay.
ramen, however y'all want to pronounce it.
Yep.
It is not telling me that. Okay. My
Yeah.
money isn't controlling me and saying the anxiety and stressing over it.
Yeah.
I took control of my finances.
Yeah. And there's a lot of traps out here. I call them traps.
Mm-hmm.
Some things, so like I'm thinking about how some banks, like my bank has kind of like a safety net. So let's say you go and swipe your card, and it's supposed to be, instead of $30, you only had 25 in your account. So they'll cover you, they'll spot you, and then you end up paying $25 for that little $5 that you needed. And it is good for them to spot you, but some people make they make that like their extra income.
Yeah.
So I think like with my bank, you can go negative 500. Ask me how I know, but you can go negative 500. But by the time you go in, you go negative 500. You done paid. It's $25 a pop at my bank. So, and you can go up to $500. That's an extra $600 or $700. You're in the hole. By the time your next check comes, you got to take care of that, and you're back in the hole again, and it becomes a cycle. So we just have to be careful.
Yes. The bank present that to you as overdraft protection.
Thank you. Yes.
Overdraft protection. And the thing about that is it only protects you from being embarrassed. Okay.
So ain't protecting your account because they
package it as if they're doing something for you.
Right.
And really what it is they want to see you go into the negative. They want to see you overspend your account because some banks will actually have it where they're charging you $25 a pop. I've had a bank when I was in college, back in my college years, I learned this lesson quick and hard. Okay.
Yeah.
It was $5 a day they would charge me. Ooh. And I wasn't. Back then, we didn't even have online banking. We had to go and check our mail. I wasn't checking the mail. Some kind of way, my mom's on my bank account, and she came and she called me up. She said, listen.
Yeah. The conversations that start with listen.
Yeah. I'm like, ma'am.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to put $100 in your account. That's going to bring you up to zero. I had been in the negative all that time for 20 days, hadn't checked my little P.O. box or whatever, was going into the negative. And she actually went to do something at the bank and she checked my account because her name is on my account as well as a user. And when she looked at it, she saw I was in the negative. I didn't know anything about that. So I tell people all the time, and we see this, Leah, all the time, where people are working in that, they're operating in the negative. They're operating in that overdraft. The banks are loving it because they're getting fees off of you.
Oh, yeah.
Or if they don't charge you a fee, what happens is you go into the negative. I know one popular bank, they'll let you go up to about $1,500, especially with our service members. And a lot of them use this particular financial institution.
Yeah.
And they'll go. And the thing is, now if your check was $1,800, or let's just say $2,000 for number's sake, now you have $500 to work with for 2 weeks.
I lost the whole check one time doing that. I can say that came and I was so sad. Like, where did my money go?
They done took all your money and now you're living in that cycle. So your paycheck goes to them. And it's hard to climb yourself out of that hole.
Yeah.
And I tell people,
cycle. Yeah.
You got to sit down. But once you get out of that cycle, yeah. So I always tell people this, and this is something that I do. Set your zero at a number higher than zero in your account.
Ah, I like that. I like
whether
that.
it's $200, whether it's $500, whether it's $1,000, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But once you start seeing your account get to that arbitrary number, say $250, it started getting around $300. You only have $50 left. Okay. Because that money would never go below a certain level.
Yeah.
And when you start getting, you start seeing your money go outside below a certain level, pull back.
Yeah.
Pull back.
I hope y'all have y'all papers and pens out, right? Because it's so many golden nuggets being dropped here today. This is amazing. I'm having a good time. I'm gonna go back and watch this. I'm working now, but I'm gonna go back and watch this with my pen and paper. I appreciate it.
Yes.
But you know what? Speaking of, how I guess we can call it predatory lending. Let's talk about these credit cards.
Okay.
So before I went in the military, I was in college for like 2 years. And one day I had went to the mall with my friends, and we were in a store called Peachtree's. I don't know if y'all know about Peachtree's. It was kind of like the Rainbow, or it's back then. So Peachtree's. So I had the sales clerk asked me if I wanted to apply to get a credit card, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll try it. And when she ran my credit, she made the mistake of saying, girl, you must have good credit. You got approved for the full amount. And I'm like, why did she tell me that? Do you know I went and opened 9 credit cards in one day that day? I went to every store I could think of. And I'm like,
that good credit.
I want to apply for a credit card. Yeah, my credit was great until the bill came, and, and I ain't had no job. I had $200 every 2 weeks that my dad was, sending me in college. And I didn't know I had to pay it back. No, I take that back. I probably did know I had to pay it back and just didn't care. All I knew is I had what I wanted.
Yeah.
But it took me years to get out from under all of that debt. And, I kept adding to it as I was trying to get out from under it. So that didn't help either. Now, I heard somebody say that we should not be paying for our living expenses off of a credit card. So if we're being financially responsible, what should we be using our credit cards for?
When it comes down to that, it's all about discipline. I get a lot of people to say we should not be using our living expenses on our credit cards. But I do have clients that pay all of their living expenses on their credit card, but they are very, very disciplined people. And what it is they keep up. They don't just swipe it and put it on the credit card and don't pay attention. They write out all their bills, and they're doing that. The main reason that they're doing it is for the perks of the credit card.
Cash back. Yep.
Cash back
points. Yeah,
or points, whatever it may be. So they do it for that reasoning. But the thing is, that is a slippery slope. Is it something that I would tell all my clients to do, or is it something that I would lead and even tell my clients to do? Absolutely not. Now, if they come in and they're doing it, I will look at their patterns, how disciplined they are. It's a slippery slope, because I'll get someone to come in and start saying, oh, well, we're going to put all our stuff on our credit card too. But you're not keeping up with the actual, you treat that credit card as though it's your actual account.
Yeah.
And you know that you have to pay it off in full. If you're not paying it off in full, this is not for you. Okay. Right. This is not the deal. So what should you be using your credit cards for? Your credit card can be used for emergency purchases. It can be used for secured purchases when you're wanting to travel, for instance. You know you already have that money set aside, but the thing is, you don't want that your debit account, your actual bank account exposed, especially if you're going to touristy areas, because that is a trap where a lot of scammers are actually hanging around.
Wow.
So you want to be able to use that credit card if you're going overseas, things of that nature. If you're making big purchases and stuff like that, but you have the money and you're going to pay it off.
That's the key. If
that's
you
the
have
key.
the money,
If
you're
you
going to
have
pay it
the
off.
money, don't come to me talking about you're going to go over here to the mall and buy this bag that you've been wanting to buy for $4,800.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay it off over time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I got you. That's smart. So what's the best way for us to tackle our debt?
Ooh. First of all, to actually know your debt. Do you know how many people I get that come to me that have no clue what all their debts are? They don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, pull your credit report. You can go on annualcreditreport.com. Pull that credit report. Now you're not going to get the actual score unless you pay for that.
Yeah.
But annualcreditreport.com is where everyone can go. If you have a social security number or an EIN number or anything, go on there, pull your credit report. Right now, they're still operating under a COVID-19 to where they're offering free credit report. You can pull your credit report once a week for free.
Wow.
Now, the general rule is you can pull your credit report once a year from the date that you pull it. So it's not the calendar year from January the 1st to December 31st, but it's from the day you pull until the next year of that day. That's the general rule. That from all three credit reporting agencies, that's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the top three major credit reporting agencies across the United States. Check your credit. The second thing, and because something may be wrong, something may be there that you didn't do, you never know.
Right.
So pull your credit and list out all your debts. I tell people how much you owe, what's your monthly payment, what's the interest rates. These are three major factors when it comes down to credit. Then from there, you want to start figuring out a plan. Budget first, cut back in your budget, start paying yourself first. Then also at the same time, look at these debts and focus on one debt that you want to pay off. Oftentimes we would do something that's called the snowball effect. Okay. The snowball.
Yeah.
We would start. That's where you start with a debt that has the smallest balance. So if you have a credit card out there that you've been paying $35 on or $25 a month or whatever, but it has a balance of $250 and all the other ones are higher than that, then I'm going to tell you, focus on paying off that credit card. The money that we found, the extra money that we found from your budget, because we cutting back subscriptions that we didn't know about or any of that.
I have so many and it's a mess. I said I was going to get one of those, the apps that do that for you, that find them for you. I don't even watch the Hallmark channel. I watch it on TV, but I don't watch the app. Why am I paying for it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. That just touched me.
But subscriptions are major issues that we're seeing so many people fall into that cycle. I'm being charged for something and I had to go and cut one because I was like, when did this happen? They set it up as so many trials. You got a trial error and then you forget that you were even doing it or you used it for a while and now you're not even using it anymore.
Right.
Let it go. Okay.
That's right.
Let it go. But when we find excess money in our budget, whether it's cutting back how much we're eating out, whether it's being smart on how we actually shop. From there, what we do is now we're applying that to the snowball effect. And what we're going to do is look at the smallest debt. Okay. We're going to focus on paying that off fast. Then we're going to take and we're going to add that amount to the small amount that we've been paying, pay it off fast. From there, once that's paid off, that's a win for you. That feels great. So the next thing we're going to do is go to the next smallest debt. And we're going to take all of that money plus what you're normally paying for that debt. We're going to stick it to that and we're going to pay that off faster. And we're going to continue that. And then we're going to go so forth and so forth. So that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people really start focusing on. And it gives you a lot of gratification right then to see that.
Can I tell you, okay, so like I said, my husband and I have two different viewpoints when it comes to money. He is a saver. He is a saver, and I will give him that. He loves saving and investing. For me, my thing is paying off a debt. There is a rush that I get that I don't quite understand, but it started. I guess for me, number one, of course, is, the gratitude I have for being able to do it. But that rush that you get when I say, okay, well, I got an extra $400 this pay period. My husband got me for anything I got to do this, until the next pay period. So I can take this $400 and put that on that bill and knock it out. I love seeing the numbers come down. And I love seeing the numbers go to zero where I'm done with it. It just excites me. I have no idea why that is. It is a real rush for me.
Because you're achieving a goal.
Yeah.
You're achieving a goal.
Yeah.
And once you set that goal to get that paid off, and especially for my people that haven't done it, and once they start seeing it happen, it lets you know that you can do it, because that's a burden that's lifted off of you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It
you
is.
know,
And it's less stress.
and just as you said, now you like to see the numbers go down.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, and I'm just going to shift this for a second,
Mm-hmm.
shifting that whole concept and flipping it over into investing and seeing those numbers go up.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly. And that's his side. That's the side he likes. But you're right. I do like that as well, too.
Yeah, because that's yours.
Yeah.
The higher it goes,
Yeah.
that's your money, the better off.
I do like that now. Come on, and let's go up.
Let's go up with it.
So, still staying in that same vein on the topic of, your credit, besides tackling your debt, what are some other ways that we can raise our credit scores?
Great question.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the ways to raise your credit score is, first of all, once you tackle that debt, especially if you have something in collection, get that paid off. You can do a settlement with the companies, whatever it is, but you need that number to come down to zero. Okay? Pay your debt. You don't have to pay these people to go out and do what you can do for free. Okay?
Right.
Pull that credit report, look at it, and then start paying on your debts. Don't be afraid to call them. The next thing is, and once you do that, it's kind of like a bleeding injury, an injury that's bleeding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once you actually patch that up, it can start to heal. Your credit score will start to heal.
Yeah.
Start paying your bills on time.
Yeah.
Paying your debts on time. That's the major thing. It's your debts that need to be paid on time. Okay.
Timely.
Those things. So if you have collections, focus on getting those, focus on working out a plan with the creditor and getting that paid off. Okay. If you make a habit of paying bills late, make it a habit to pay it on time. Get ahead of that bill. Then from there, so you got your credit report kind of working, you got existing things. The next thing you want to do is, if we have a person that doesn't have credit, the way to build credit, two good ways you can build credit. The first one is something that we call a secured credit card or a secured loan. Okay. This is where you will go to the bank and you're going to basically turn your money into a loan, or you're going to turn your money into a credit card.
Yeah.
So the banks aren't lending you anything because you have money in that account, whether it's a savings account or a checking account. You have money in that account. So what's going to happen is they're actually going to secure the amount that you want to secure from that account. Maybe it's $1,000. Maybe it's $500. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to secure that. So the banks don't have to pull your credit report, because every time they pull your credit report, remember, that is a hard inquiry. That's called a hard inquiry. That negatively affects your score and it'll make it go down. So you will establish the secured loan or credit card, whichever one you want to do.
Yeah.
From there, you're going to use that money or not and pay it back. So for instance, with the loan, I've done this before when I was younger, trying to build my credit after that whole, situation in college.
Yeah.
But took $1,000 that I had sitting in an account. It's saved. And what I did was, the bank basically froze that money, and then each month they made a payment. It was an automatic payment that was released from that freeze back into my account.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm making payments every single month on a loan. They'll report that to the credit reporting agencies as though it's a loan, and you'll start to see your credit increase.
Wow, that's great. That's a great, see, I got my paper. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So I want to get into the B word.
Oh, I'm almost cussed now. Budget. Budget. People don't like that word, I tell you. Can you walk us through how to create a budget, for ourselves and for our family, and how to stick to that budget?
Absolutely. So I love a good budget.
Yeah.
I love a good budget. I compare a budget to a diet, though,
Okay.
because oftentimes we have to change our mind. If you don't like the word budget, which most people don't,
Mm-hmm.
because budget means that they feel restrictions.
Yeah.
Make a realistic budget.
Oh.
The key word, realistic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go through your current spending. The first thing that you want to do is, first of all, what you want to do is know what your income is.
Mm-hmm.
How much money are you bringing home on a monthly basis?
Mm-hmm.
What is your take home pay that you're receiving?
Mm-hmm.
Write that number down. A lot of people haven't really looked at how much money you're earning.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to earn more money? That's the question. Should you be going out doing some things like DoorDash or Uber or any of that kind of stuff, with caution on how you go about and do it. But is there additional income that needs to be earned? So the first part of the budget is understanding your income.
Yeah, that means don't go open an OnlyFans account. Don't do that.
Now, we didn't tell you to do all that. Okay. We didn't tell you to do all that. But if you want to talk offline, I got some clients that I'm looking at going,
they make how much? How much they paying?
I was like, about to start selling some feet.
Okay, so views and opinions expressed. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Okay, go ahead.
But from there, the budget is for anybody. So from there, your income, know how much you're making. Do you need to raise it or is it good?
Yeah.
Most people, John Hope Bryant says that America doesn't have an earning problem. We have a spending problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true. So now it's time to actually figure out what you're spending your money on. Where is the money leaking? Okay. Where is it leaking? Go through your actual accounts, whether it's your checking account that you're working out of, even if you're putting everything on your credit card. If you're doing that, go through that credit card statement. And you want to start categorizing each thing that you're spending your money on. So now we need to look at every aspect of it. From when I tell people to give me their budget, they give me mortgage or rent, utilities, insurance, and maybe a little bit on groceries. Hadn't looked at what they're really doing at all. Look at your bank statement. It's only going to tell you the truth, and you need to know the truth because it's about you. Yeah. Go through that, look at it. Now you need to start seeing what you're actually spending. And then from there, in all categories, and then from there, the total amount of what you spent for the month. And then after that, you're going to go in and look at your debts and what your payments are. From there, what are your payments on a monthly basis? That's all we're looking at are our payments, how much we're putting out. At the end, when we subtract our expenses and our debts from our income, you should have a positive number left over. And you should, and I'm not saying, I came down to $25. I'm doing good. Okay. You should have a nice little nest egg still left over from that. If you don't, go back and look through that budget and let's be realistic on where can we cut that? Yeah. Can we cut out some of those subscriptions? Can we cut out going out to eat? Because going out to eat and food, groceries, everything is expensive.
Yes, it is.
Do we need to get creative in the kitchen and things like that on how we're going and spending? One of the biggest things that I see with shoppers going to spend money on groceries is they don't make a list.
Yes.
They don't make a list.
Because I can stop by Walmart and spend $60 and all I went to get was a bowl of nuts, some cereal or something. Yeah. And I done spent $60.
One bag can cost you $60.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
One bag. So from there, making that list, I always, a lot of technology has advanced. We can do online shopping. So I tell people, hey, that's your grocery list of things that you need, and then make a little bit of, all right, we want some extra stuff here, so we can do that. But keeping that and then send it to the grocery store and then go pick it up or have them deliver it. That's keeping a lot of people in their budgets. Okay. So from there, get that in order, clean up your habits, and then start focusing on those debts paying them off.
Mhm.
Remember, subtracting your expenses from your income and your debts from your income and having money left over.
I
And
love
so
that. I love that. Are there any apps that help with budgeting that you recommend?
there are tons of apps out there that people, if you're an app person
Yeah.
and this is the thing, you have to know what works for you.
Yeah.
Younger audiences tend to, not all, but they
Mhm.
tend to gravitate towards the apps.
Mhm.
Mint.com used to be there, but I think it's gone away
Okay.
for budgeting. But oftentimes your banks have apps that you can actually budget out, and they'll keep a running tally of your budget.
Yeah.
I think they have, is it TurboTax? Don't quote me on that, but I think
Okay.
all of their different things that they have budgets on
Yeah.
them. So, but I always tell people, go through your banks.
Yeah.
Go through your banks. You can find a good budgeting app. Don't pay for anything. What's the
Yeah.
point in paying for? You're trying to budget.
Yeah. It's just adding
Okay.
something else. Yeah.
It's just adding something
Mhm.
else. But then from there, I always tell people also, if you're good at Excel, some
Mhm.
people like to make their own Excel sheet. And then some people, like myself,
Mhm.
still go to good old pen and paper.
That's me. I do that too. I have them. I'll just write down, like, before I get ready to pay my bills. I'll write
Mhm.
down as I'm paying the bills. I know I can afford, the bills, but
Mhm.
I write it down as I pay it and just kind of keep a tally. And I got papers all over the place where where I'm like, oh, I was doing bills that day. Okay. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So
We
it
have some,
depends. Mhm.
there's some books out there, but I just tell people, get a specialized tablet.
Yeah.
Get a specialized tablet and label each month.
Yeah.
And each time, just say what your bills are, and they're going to be over and over. Especially your debts, the things that you
Yeah.
have to pay on a monthly basis,
Mhm.
and your bills, your regular bills.
Yeah.
Just write them every month, and that way you can make sure you paid them, you're
Yeah.
keeping up with everything, and then flip over on the next pages or whatever. Go get a cheap
Mhm.
99-cent tablet
Yep.
and make that your budgeting tablet.
That's it. That's it. So, I talked about how my husband and I, how we have two different perspectives when it comes to money, and sometimes it causes a little divide between us. So, as a matter of fact, at some point, it has become a point of contention over the years.
Absolutely.
So, what do you say to the couple that is struggling to have conversations about money? Like, what advice can you give them or strategies to help overcome that?
To the couples that have differences on money and don't know how to talk it out because it's always pointing.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with sitting down with a counselor.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong. Also, I always tell people when they come into my office, because I love working with couples, because oftentimes it's lack of communication
Yeah.
and lack of understanding your
Mhm.
spouse's background
Oh,
and
wow.
how they view money. We have the everybody knows this, the 5 love language,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
where there's something that and I'm gonna say I think her name is Sybil Solomon.
I got
She
you.
she has come out with something called money's habitudes
Oh.
that I love. It's
Okay.
similar, and it teaches us what's our habitude or our attitude towards money.
Yeah.
She has it. I think it's online. I think you may have to pay for it. Sometimes I know when I worked at Fleet and Family, we had the card games that
Yeah.
actually, once you do it and go through the process, you figure out what's your habitude. You
Mhm.
may be a person that is focused on security.
Mhm.
So your cards may line up more for security. You might be the person that focus on um, basically expressing or not the show off or anything, but the
Mhm.
person who like the nicest things because
Mhm.
you like to look a certain way
Yeah.
and you like people to view you a certain way. So
Yeah.
understanding your habitudes with your money and understanding your spouse's or your significant other's
Yeah.
attitude towards money. But it's just an ideal of sitting down and actually understanding what's your attitude towards money or your
Mhm.
because the thing is, a lot of people, and this is what I found with my spenders. Spenders, I love the fact that Leah, you said I'm a spender.
I know it.
Okay.
I'm a spender.
You are a spender.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, it's understanding who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what's your attitude towards money. Do you
Mm-hmm.
spend it or are you a saver? And that's basically the two real breakdowns we have: spenders versus savers.
Yes. And I know where that attitude came from because my father, I'm learning later in life, he was the same way. He was a spender, and his thing was, hey, you can't take it with you, you know. And he made a lot of money. He was a fire chief in Chicago, so
wow.
he always made a lot of money. But he spent the money like he made it. He wasn't, you know, well, I won't say he never, because they didn't show me what happened. But from what I saw, you know, he was always, you know, he was always giving money out. He did believe in giving money. He would tip big. And I guess, you know, my parents kind of had the same relationship with money the way my husband and I do. Because my mom is like, no, we going to hold on to this. No, why are you tipping her $20, $30, $40 and you can put that money in my pocket, you know?
Yeah.
So I know where my attitude came from because it's the same way my dad did.
And absolutely. And we're going to take one or the other. I'm more of my mom she's an earner.
Yeah.
And she takes care of things. My dad, he was more of a saver. And he would hide money. And I picked that habit up from him of saving. And to this day, I hide money from myself. He used to just hide it from us, but he taught me to hide money. And to this day, I will, you know, don't come to my house to anybody trying to rob me or whatever. But
that was my mom. My mom would say, when I go, she said, don't throw none of my purses out and none of my pants before you check them.
Absolutely.
Be sure you check them first, because I don't know where
my dad is the same way. We once took he was in the hospital recovering, and we went into the house and we said, we're going to clean out this apartment. We're going to clean it out. And my brothers went in and I bought a new couch for him. They removed that old couch, tossed it out, sent it on. When he came back from the hospital, he said, where's my couch? And we said, look at this new couch. Honey, they done tossed some money into the dumpster in that couch that he had shoved down in secret spots in the couch. Now you got to understand, my dad is 86 years old.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a bank account.
Yeah.
So
old school. And you know what? That actually brings me to my next conversation. So my husband is really big on investments and even cryptocurrency and things like that. And we were laughing because we were talking to one of his sons, and he was saying, no, I'm not putting my money in no bank. Then people going to take your money. And we were kind of laughing about him saying that. And then he said, you're kind of like that when it comes to dealing with the crypto. Because I'm like, I don't know what that is. You know, I don't trust that. And so that was, you know, that was my thing. Is there how do we know what safe investments are out there? And I know safe is and I don't know if safe is the right word to use because you're always dealing with risk with the investment. But
absolutely.
How do we know we're not being scammed, and how do we know which ones to choose?
Great question. And I'm going to answer this to the best of my ability.
Yes, ma'am.
Because nowadays there's so much, everybody.
Yeah.
The markets have opened themselves up to where any and everybody can get into the markets. That's also opened itself up to where any and everybody is in the market and everybody is passing information around, and you don't know what information to trust or to choose.
Right.
Always tell people you can go online to the SEC.gov website. Check those investors that you're trying to go into. Check those investors. Investor.org, that's another one that you can go to. So the SEC.gov, great place to go in and check to make sure that no one or whoever you're investing with hasn't had any issues. Now that's not to say that everybody, because they're coming up faster than we can actually, than they can actually combat.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your investments, be careful about the people that are saying, hey, my friend knows someone. And these people, I have so many people that are great friends, very educated. But when it comes, because we're all trying to make it, and we know that investments is the way, but we haven't educated ourselves enough.
Yeah.
That when they say, hey, they only allow these type of people, or they only allow this, so you need to get in on this right now, right now, right now.
Yeah.
Be leery about that.
Yeah.
Be very careful. I can't tell you how many people have come to me with investments that were actually pyramid schemes.
Yeah. Wow. Mm.
Okay. Actually pyramid schemes. So be careful about that. If you don't know enough about the website, if you don't know enough about the company, if you can't go on and research this company on multiple reputable websites or
Yeah.
reputable sources,
Mhm.
if you can't research them, that's a red flag. That's
Yeah.
a major red flag. It's not that they're the rare company. There's a reasoning why they're so rare. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they only exist with themselves.
Right. Right.
Right.
Exactly. Oh,
So
wow.
be careful about that. I even, I tell people, go on and use some of these websites. Finance, Yahoo Finance is a good one. MSN Finance is a good one because you can look up the tickers. If you're looking at cryptocurrency, you can look at those tickers on there
Yeah.
and see what they're doing. If they made it to that, they're more than likely pretty good.
Gotcha.
So be careful, just be careful. Cryptocurrency is a hot topic. It's a very hot topic. Always tell people, only invest, first of all, not even just cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Only invest what you can afford
There you
to
go.
lose. What you can afford to
To
lose.
lose. Yeah.
If your savings, if your emergency savings, if your retirement isn't being met and isn't fully funded, and when it comes to an emergency savings, by the way, I should have mentioned this early, we always tell people 3 to 6 months worth of income or
Okay.
expenses,
Yeah.
however you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully your expenses are less than your income, but
Yeah.
at least 3 to 6 months worth of your income or your expenses saved up
Okay.
little by little. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know that can sound like a lot, but it goes back to that paying yourself first.
Yep.
Paying yourself first. If you're getting a big payout, maybe it's your tax returns and you don't have debts, you've taken care of that. That's when majority or a nice portion of that money should be able to satisfy the needs of your emergency account. And you put it over there in an emergency account, whether it's a savings. Now, here's the other thing. I'm going off script a little bit here,
You're all
Leah,
right.
and
You're
taking
right.
it back.
This is
Whether
good.
it's a regular savings account
Yeah.
or where it's a high yield savings account.
Ah, okay.
Okay. High yield savings accounts are earning people way more interest than a regular savings. Now, we're not talking about investment level earnings. We're not talking about that. We're just saying, as my money is sitting over here with this financial institution, how is the growth on this money? And how liquid is the money? How easy is it for me to go and grab my money? High yield savings account, regular savings account, that's where we want to keep our emergency funds in, because if I need to go there today and take money out, I can go in today and take money out with no questions asked. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, going back over to my investment accounts, when we're talking about that and understanding how to actually focus on those and what should we be focusing on, don't do anything you don't really understand. So if you don't understand it, maybe kind of trail back or don't put a lot towards it until you do understand it.
Yeah.
You can start off small, and then as you start to see it grow with that in that account, grow or earn it. As long as you see the process, then you're learning from it. Then go more and more and more and add on to it. Cryptocurrency, that's again a hot topic.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize cryptocurrencies, they think of those as stocks and investment stocks. It's really not. Cryptocurrency is in a league of its own.
Okay.
It's in a league of its own, and we still have not seen where cryptocurrency will go. We're speculating. And again, any kind of investment is a speculation on it's going to grow. We always speculate, and we're choosing what we expect to grow.
Yeah.
A lot of things we can see their patterns. One of the most popular cryptocurrency is Bitcoin.
Yes.
We've seen that. Now, if we would have got into Bitcoin years ago,
Yes,
okay, but we couldn't
exactly.
predict. You can't predict what's going to happen in the future. We didn't
Right.
realize that cryptocurrency was going to be selling at, I think I checked it last week, it was at 99,000 a share, or
Wow.
not even a share, because it's not a share.
Yeah.
It's just for a coin. Okay.
Okay.
It's for a buy-in. So,
Yeah.
and then up to 100. I may have seen it the other day go up to
Yeah.
103, something like that.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
increases and decreases, but the ideal behind cryptocurrency, what they're expecting that to be, is the coin or is the way we actually trade goods and services in the
Ah,
future
the
instead of our
new
dollars.
the new money.
The new money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the thing is,
Mhm.
which coin, which cryptocurrency are we going to be utilizing?
Mm.
That we do not know.
And
Or
there's the
we,
risk.
and there's the risk. And we don't know if it really is going to be the money of the future. We
Yeah.
don't know that. Now, a
Yeah.
lot of people speculate that it will.
Mhm.
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not telling you
Yeah.
yes or no. I'm just saying, understand when it comes to investing in any type of entity,
Yeah.
anything, you're just taking a risk on what you believe is going to happen in the future.
That is so good. There is so much information. We need about 7 different shows to cover to cover everything because everything is so intricate. It's so deep.
Everything.
Oh
Everything's
man.
there's
Oh
so many
man. Yeah.
umbrellas under finance. We can talk all day about budgeting. We can talk all day about
Absolutely.
credit and debt. We can talk
Yeah.
all day about investments. There's so many. We haven't even talked about insurance. You know,
I
there's
know.
so much to talk about.
Which leads me to my next point. We're almost finished here, but like I said, we definitely have to have you back to do more. To talk about it.
Absolutely.
I just kind of wanted to go down the line and hit everything because it takes everything. Everything makes up the whole financial picture.
Mhm.
So you have to consider everything that goes into it. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today. So I really appreciate your time. So my next thing was, part of financial planning is planning for end of life. I was listening to the Budgetnista.
Love her.
She lost her husband a couple years ago, and I heard her say, she said one of the greatest things that he ever did for her was to financially plan for her after he passed away. And she said that when he left everything in such order and such good financial standing that she didn't have to worry about anything. All she had to do was just concentrate on healing herself. And that is such a blessing to be able to do that. Because we know, especially in our community, people don't pay for insurance. Then we selling fish plates. Then people arguing over, the will and what we're going to do and who gets what money, Can we talk a little bit about the importance of establishing a financial plan for end of life? And how do we go about doing that?
Yes. So when it comes down to, and I know this is such a tough topic for most people, being an insurance agent, period, is like, I always tell people, you got to be able to talk to people and make them look at end of life that nobody's actually trying to do.
Yeah.
Now, we got a lot of insurance agencies that are not out there trying to sell you the best plans and things of that nature. But when it comes down to planning for end of life, it's all about taking care of the people you're going to leave behind. That's what we're going to do. We want to take care. A lot of people say, oh, that's how you build financial wealth. Yeah, well, yeah, that can be it. But it's actually taking those actions and saying, when it comes down to life insurance, how much is enough life insurance? Understanding that, what all bills do I have? And it's not about just your bills and your mortgage. It's about saying, can this person live off of this amount of income or this amount of, income for X amount of time? How long would it last them? After everything is paid, will they still just have money that they can live off of? My children, whoever it is, my spouse, you're taking care of that. So when it comes down to getting insurance, a lot of people have thought about it. They just haven't even taken action. And that's where we need to put action behind it, to go and sit down and talk with the insurance advisor and actually start paying on something that's going to take care of you when you're no longer here. Not only just your insurance, making sure that you have a will.
Yeah. Yep.
Making sure you have a will, making sure that you have given guidance and order on what you want that person to do or what you want your money to do after you leave. This amount goes towards my children. Should I be talking to a trust advisor or putting my money in a trust for the children? Should I be putting my money here? getting that stuff in order. Because like you said, probate is real. Getting people pass on and now the family is fighting because somebody did not sit down with an attorney or with someone or sit down and actually got it notarized to where, because you have to do that. You just don't put it on a paper.
That's right.
And expect that. That doesn't work like that.
Don't write it on a cocktail napkin.
Don't write it on a cocktail napkin.
Right.
You know, but actually put it in your will and actually setting yourself up. There are tons of people, that lawyers out here that are willing to do it for a small fraction of the cost. I know with our military, DOD has military one source. Coast Guard has CG support. There are all types of attorneys that are out in the community that are ready. You can just call them up and say, hey, let's sit down and let's talk about this.
Yeah.
As if it doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. We should all be preparing. So that way you don't leave your family in disarray.
Absolutely. And go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, and oftentimes we see that being the case versus the other side of, as like you mentioned, Budget Nisa, who husband left everything in order for her.
Somebody said leaving that doing the end of life planning and leaving that order and structure there is like one of the greatest acts of love that you can do.
Absolutely.
For your family members, because it's already going to be a tough time because that loved one is gone, but to have to deal with the stress of the drama is too much. It's too much on them. So that is an act of love. So definitely. Well, Saudi, this has been amazing. I don't want to let you go, but I got to be aware of your time and the time of our listeners as well, too. I do have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you could paint a picture and tell us what financial self-care should look like for women, regardless if they're single or married, a mother, whatever it is, what should financial self-care look like for us?
Financial self-care should look like every box is checked and properly prepared.
Okay.
Every box, our income. Are you earning your own income? Okay. Are you on the right page with your spouse? So what's your income looking like? Could it be more? If so, go ahead, go for it. Go past that glass ceiling that they put on women, on us as women.
Yeah.
So go for it. Earn more. Figure out ways to earn more. And then the thing is, do you have your spending diet in order? Okay.
Spending diet.
Do you have your spending diet in order? And then from there, that debt, got it down? And I'm not saying you have to be zero debt. That's great. We want that. But manageable debt. Is it manageable? And then, of course, the excess money so that we can have that money to say, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I always tell people. Sometimes I have folks that come to me and I have to actually be the one to tell them, you're okay.
Yeah.
And they go, well, you're sure? I was like, you have every box checked. Every box is fully supplied. You're earning your income. You're living below your means. Okay. You're not spending your entire paycheck. Your debts are low or none. And you have ample enough income. You have plenty of extra money that's left over to, if you want to go out and buy that bag, you can go buy it.
Yes.
I'm not the person to tell you you can't do something if you can do it.
Right.
Or maybe I'll say, that's what you want to do. Not yet, but this is the way we're fixing to get to it.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell them, making sure all your financial boxes are checked. And you now have a tool to actually help you relax.
I love that. I love that. Financial self-care, y'all. All right. Well, Saudi, thank you again so much for joining us today. The conversation was amazing, and I can't wait to go back and watch it again and get my notebook out. I did write a few notes here. I do have a few. So tell the people where they can find you or find more information if they want to get in contact with you or, with whatever you have going on. Tell the people how to find you.
Yes, you can always find me on social media, which is, Facebook or Instagram. You just research my name, Saudi Rodgers, Rodgers with a D. Or you can shoot me an email at any time, and that's srodgers, RODGERS 00 at Gmail. Those are the ways you can find me. I will be more than happy to help.
Awesome. We'll be sure to put that on the show page as well, too, for you.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Leah.
Yes, ma'am. Well, y'all, that is my time for today. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Join us next week for another crazy good episode, y'all. But until then, I want you to be encouraged, be empowered, and be blessed. Peace, y'all.